Did you catch any of that?
You know, it's funny. I just caught some of the traffic coming back yesterday in the afternoon. There was a lot of traffic from the Puerto Rican Day Parade. There was
you know what? It didn't bother me that much, though. I was coming back yesterday afternoon, and then I saw a car draped with the flag, and I said, it was the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and I really didn't notice it that much.
Yeah, I managed to get out of town in time and avoid all that. The Puerto Rican Day Parade is particularly frightening. It's, all parades are frightening. Even a parade that's so established like that Irish parade.
The Columbus Day Parade, or what is it? St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's. Yeah. That's the most frightening because, everyone's wearing green, everyone's vomiting, people are drunk, like ridiculously drunk, and it looks like these thugs are running through the streets. But the Puerto Rican Day Parade is pretty frightening, too. Although I went down, one time I confronted my fears. You know how G. Gordon Liddy ate a rat's head?
Right.
In order to confront his fears? So I went down to the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and I actually walked around and stuff. Had a decent time. There was a big can of Goya beans and some chick on there waving, and it was pretty wild. I think at one point I ate a Puerto Rican. I'm not even sure what happened. But
there was an awful lot of picnics in the parks, too. I noticed that there were tons of people in the parks.
But that's all right, because it doesn't affect traffic. Like, the concept...
But they got to get into town.
The Puerto Rican Day Parade affects traffic.
Well, the concept of parades was an idea that happened before cars. Like, we have to be practical. You can't have a fucking parade. There's people dying in ambulances because the Ukrainians march, It's like,
Well, I always said if I was mayor, what I would do is all of these parades, since they're so important to people to celebrate their ethnicity, which I think is divisive and ridiculous. You come to this country, try to become an American and fit in and stop it all.
Yeah, we can have just one parade.
Yeah, if your roots are that important to you, you should go back to where your roots are from. Like, if it's so important to you to be, go move to Ireland, and you can do it 24/7, every day of the year.
That Sotomayor was there with her broken ankle marching in the parade.
I thought I read that Sotomayor didn't show up, and everyone was upset.
I heard she was there.
Oh, maybe you're right. You read the paper closer than I do. But these parades are insane. Yeah. I mean, and what I was thinking, if I was mayor, what I would do is I would have these parades, let's say, in the parking lot at the Meadowlands. In other words, if you really were that into it, you could go... It seems very important to people to... It's only important if you can shut down traffic.
Right. And that's the big deal. Get everybody out there and make sure we shut it down.
Yeah. Why couldn't you have a parade, for example, in Central Park? Like somewhere in the Bramble or whatever that's called. Like, have the goddamn parade there.
Dangerous.
Just say, or close the park down and just have a parade.
Or have it in an outer borough.
But it's not as much fun for people because it doesn't disrupt traffic. It's just like, here's an example of a parade in New York. This is, here.
Fuck New England!
This is the Giants parade when the Giants won. Right here.
Fuck New England!
Tell me if this isn't scary.
Fuck New England! Boston sucks!
Now, why do you hate New England so much?
Because they're garbage. They don't even know how to fucking talk. That's why.
How do they talk?
This is wicked this, wicked that.
Fuck jerk off, they talk.
In the park, Tom Brady, you faggot!
Why'd you get an accent like that, you bunch of jerk-offs? Just sell, you little bitch.
Is there anything you like about Boston? Lobster or clam chowder? Or anything?
I like when they lose like bitches. I like when they get stuck up their ass. The only good thing about Boston is fucking beans. That's it.
Who do you hate worse, terrorists or the Boston Patriots?
New England Patriots! We fucking hate the Patriots! Fuck you, Patriots! Eat my shit!
They like the terrorists better than the Patriots.
L-U-E! Boo! 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 Put the terrorists in New England in one boat and blow that bitch up, baby!
Well, people don't realize this, but Muhammad Atta was a tight end for the Patriots for a while.
For a very short time.
Right.
Yes.
Starting in May, going through the entire summer, I believe there's a parade every Sunday. Because, there's a Ukrainian Day Parade, there's a Polish Day Parade, there's an Israeli Day Parade, there's going to be a Dominican Parade. There's one that goes through the whole summer.
Horrible. But it disrupts people's lives.
Talking about, I sent you a note a couple of weeks ago. On a Sunday, I was coming back from Baltimore, and I got stuck outside the George Washington Bridge. They shut down the George Washington Bridge for 1 full hour for a motorcycle ride.
Right.
It was a motorcycle ride for some charity thing.
Right.
But you shut down a major bridge for an hour.
How does that work?
And my bitching about that was, it's like, okay, you got to shut the bridge down, that's fine. I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike. I am passing, those electronic signs?
Yeah.
Sign after sign. Just put up a sign that said George Washington Bridge is going to be closed for an hour.
They didn't put it up?
Nope.
Somebody was busting Gary's balls on that and said, you know, Sirius has a traffic channel. Because who was it that said that?
Dan the Song Parody.
Dan the Song Parody goes, I had no trouble getting into the city because I listened to the traffic channel.
Dan's a liar. Dan had no trouble because he's a biker without a bike.
What was Dan going to work?
Exactly.
I couldn't get in to get that windfall of money. You know what, Howard?
Yeah.
Can I be honest about something?
Sure.
I am starting to seethe at him.
Why?
I'm starting to get, and I like Dan. We were friends.
Yeah.
But I'm really, I guess this is me being human. I really am mad at Dan.
Go ahead.
Just because.
Get it off your chest.
Just because it's $7,500.
He owes you $7,500.
And I gave it to him about a year and a half ago. He was living in Vegas, and he called me up with a sad story saying, Art, I got to get out of Vegas. I got to get home, but I got no money. And he originally told me he needed $15,000.
Right.
And I said, Dan, listen.
To get back to New York? How is he coming?
He was coming. He was getting his own private jet. Yes.
And Dan and I spoke every day. He would call me 3 times a day. We were close. He would drive me to gigs for a while. And he moved out to Vegas to get a job to a guy I introduced him to. I got him a job in Las Vegas. And he was miserable after a while, and he wanted to come home. And he called me up and he said, but I need money to come home. I need about $15,000. And I said, look, damn.
15 grand?
15 grand.
He was working, and he needed 15 grand to get home.
He wasn't making a lot of money. I think he was in charge of the midgets at the show. At
Beachers?
At Beachers, yeah. He wrangled the midgets. Which is a dark job.
Maybe you don't make a lot of money, but it's got to be so fulfilling.
So rewarding.
I mean, come on.
I feel so bad for the midgets in Vegas because they're all dark. They drink, they do blow, they get whores. They look gray and near death, like Hank, And if I was a midget, I'd do the same fucking thing, guys.
Me too.
You got a bad hand. But he had to come back, and he said, I need $15,000. And I said, Dan, listen. I'll send you $7,500 now. When you get back here, get on your feet, you call me. And I said, is that enough to get back?
Right, of course.
And you could fly.
I should hope.
Is that enough for a private jet back?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. And when I get there, I'll settle in and we'll see. So I think he got the hint. I gave him the $7,500, and he never asked me for another $7,500.
Right, yeah.
Maybe he got
That's pretty generous.
Maybe he got it somewhere else.
He shared a jet with him.
Now, he gave me $1,000 recently, but and not to disparage his character, this could be untrue, but I really think if it didn't come up on the air, and I did not bring it up, he did. Okay, I want to make that sure. I don't rat on anybody.
Go ahead.
You borrow money from me, and I'll shut up about it. But he brought it up, and I really think if you didn't bust his balls on the air, I wouldn't even have got the $1,000. So now it's $6,500, and it's been months and months and months. And you know what? Should I call him? Should I not call him? I don't know what to do. He's a guy who's talented, so he play a lot of his music. He comes up a lot. And every time I hear it, I'm like, wow, he's a talented kid. But, fuck, I don't need the $6,500. I'm very blessed because of this show. I do well. But it's $6,500, man. Like, my old man had to climb a lot of roofs to make that money.
Sure.
And I don't know. He doesn't even make an attempt. There's no attempt.
No call, nothing.
No call, nothing, and he's at screenings, and he can't get a motorcycle out of a garage, apparently.
I love that he's reading the want ads at the screening.
He was. I did check. I did look at him at the screen. He did have the want ads.
And I even told him. He goes, I know a motorcycle because I saw his motorcycle when we were closed, and it's in storage, and it's real important to him. Right. And he's got a beautiful daughter that he cares for, that he has to pay for. I get it. And I even said, look, don't sell the bike, man. Just get a job. You know what I mean? Right. I don't want you to sell the bike.
Right.
There's just no effort. It's like a fuck you. It's like in the movie Mean Streets, Robert De Niro, an old Scorsese movie, plays such a dirtbag. He borrows money from people and then spends money in front of them. Right. And that's sort of what Dan's doing. And I'll tell you what, as the guinea in me, as I start to think, I'm really mad at my old friend Dan.
So have you learned not to lend people money?
Yes, I have learned a lot from you.
Right.
And, yes, I can't do this anymore. And the benefits...
Because you'll only end up resenting them. And then who wants to resent a guy you like?
And there's another great line from the Bronx Tale where the little kid sees a guy. Chaz Palminteri's walking with the little kid.
Right.
And kid sees a guy who owes him $20. He says, get over here. You're always avoiding me. Where the fuck's my 20? And the kid runs away from him. And Palminteri goes, come here, jerk off. That kid's a fucking jerk off asshole. You know what? You just got him out of your life for $20. That's all it cost you. You'll never see him again. And Danny never calls me anymore. I don't see him unless I hear about him here. And but it cost me $6,500, not $20.
All right, well, that's inflation.
Yeah, so I don't know.
All right, well,
that's me being honest.
Maybe Dan will call in and we can have a discussion with him about it.
I know he's down on his luck, and I've been there before, but it's just at least call me once a month and say I tried and I'm sorry.
Right.
Here's $10. And I wouldn't even take it, but that effort would really mean a lot to me. We were friends.
All right, that's said. You see, this is what happens. This is why I always tell people, don't start lending money to your friends and to your relatives, because if you do, you're going to resent them. In fact, I've had relatives ask me for money, and then I hear, and I turn them down. That's my policy. But the next thing I know, they're on vacations, they're on, they're buying computers. It's wild. And I'm like, well, I'm here working. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Howard, I know a kid who owes me $43,000.
Well, that was your bookie, right?
No, not a bookie.
Right.
Friend.
$43,000.
$43,000.
How did that happen?
Well, he needed $20,000 originally to do something that was a pretty fucked up situation that I won't go into.
Right.
And I had to give him the $20,000.
Why did you have to?
Because I was worried for him.
All right.
So and I gave him the $20,000. Then he needed more. And it got up to 43. And since then, this kid is, it's unbelievable. Since then, one time this kid told me, hey, Art, I'm going to Italy for 18 days.
Yeah.
And then he said to me 2 Memorial Day weekends ago, he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm working. I said, I got a gig in Detroit Memorial Day weekend.
That's what I get to do.
I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm going to South Beach. I'm staying at Delano all weekend. It's going to be great, And
unbelievable. See, and then you start seeing that, and you go berserk. You go, you're going to South Beach. How are you paying for that?
Yeah.
And then now, all of a sudden, you're watching everything they buy and do.
Yeah, not everything, but South Beach for the weekend and Italy, $43,000.
And they haven't paid a dime?
Not a dime.
Wow. Well, I believe me, you know how I feel about all this. Well, I'm glad you learned your lesson, though. You're not doing that anymore.
I'm learning from you.
Well, you have to do that. Sometimes it's hard, too, because you know people are in trouble and you want to help, but you got to worry about your own thing, too, and worry about your own mental health. Unless you don't care.
No.
And you say, you know what? Whenever you lend somebody, you got to go in with the attitude, I'm never going to see this again, and I don't care. I'm okay with it. I'm giving a charitable donation.
And you don't want to be a bill collector or a bank.
Right.
That is not what you want to do with your life.
Never look for the money. If you care and you want to just give them a donation, that's one thing. And say to them, no strings attached. This is your money. Never come to me again about anything, but this is your money. That's what you say.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you're on the air. Hi.
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
Hello, Howard. Hello, am I on?
Yes.
Okay, listen, Artie, what'd you take, some Oxycontin this morning or something, man? Come on, dude, you're high out of your mind, Artie.
Why do you say that?
Why do you say that?
Okay, all right, I'm a recovered heroin addict myself. I'm on a program, right? I'm doing all right. And every time to a point, I could tell when he was when he was messing around. I can just hear it in your voice, Artie. You've been clean. You're coming in. You're positive. You're talking. You don't shut up. You're talking all the time. Now you come in. I hear your voice. I hear it in your throat. Your affect. I can tell, dude. Come on. Man,
sir,
he says he's not.
Sir,
Robin, do you detect that Artie is on something right now?
I can't detect anything. What do you have?
Oh, do me a solid. Do me a solid. Look at his eyes. Are his eyes pinned? Look at his eyes.
His eyes what?
Are his eyes pinned? Pinned.
What does
yes,
that mean?
Absolutely they're pinned.
Rolling pins. Are like little pins.
Oh, you mean like pinpoint pupil?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's how you can tell.
Not at all.
Not at
no,
all.
they really aren't.
Sir,
okay, well,
we got to do pupil checks.
By the way, nothing more embarrassing than look into Artie's eyes and look to see if they're pinned. I don't want. He doesn't want to lend money to people. I don't want to look in his eyes to see if they're pinned.
Crazy.
That was so gay.
I know, but he asked you to do it, and this guy's clearly intelligent. There's a lot of hate.
I got to tell you something.
A lot of haters out there, man, and there's a lot of.
I don't hate you, man. I'm on a program myself. I'm just saying, bro. I can tell. I know you go.
All right, he feels you're on something.
Okay, buddy. I'm sorry.
This time you were wrong.
It's my bad. I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right. Thank you,
and
Mike.
look, I had a story that Howard brought up there. I thought it would be relative. I promise you. I know it's the Howard Stern show, and I will be quiet.
Very good. Thank you. Josh, go ahead. You're on the air in Boston.
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
Artie.
Hey.
Shut the fuck up. You shut up. All you do is talk.
Well, what do you think? What do you think I do here? Sweep up?
Oh, my God. Between you and the Yankees, I don't know who sucks worse.
Yeah, well, right now it's the Yankees.
What's the matter with you? All right, thank you. Jay, you're on the air.
Artie.
Yes.
I just want to say, Artie, man, you sound great, and the reason everybody loves you is because you're all about principle. You hit the nail on the head. When your dad was, he'd work his ass off for $6,500, just as you would when you were working on the docks, and you're just looking for Dan to set up some kind of payment plan, even if it's $20 a month.
Right. You made the point, and it's very true. This whole lending money thing.
What goes through the borrower's mind? That, this, it'd be embarrassing to give $10 a month or something like that, or this wouldn't be right just to give him $5 or like anything toward it.
I think most borrowers do not really think they're going to be able to pay it back.
Yeah. But, I mean, are they thinking ever about, I could give Artie $5, but that would be what?
An insult or something.
Is that what they're thinking?
I don't even think that.
Maybe I'll give it to him when I have $25.
He talked about it on a wrap-up show, or maybe he talked about it here, but we had that exact conversation. I said, give him $50 a month, give him $100 a month. And he goes, I want to give him the whole thing. He goes, just a little bit at a time.
Okay, so you get nothing for the whole.
A little bit at a time.
But that's another word for that is I want to give him nothing.
Yeah, but at $50 a month, okay, even let's say $100 a month. Right. Let's say they came up with a payment plan. Yeah. $100 a month would mean something to Artie. It means the debt is being paid. And by the way, how many years has it been since the
year and a half?
A year and a half. So, all right, so $1,000. Over $1,000 would have been paid back already.
See, I'm with Artie, and I don't mean to take a shot at Dan, but I believe that if it never came up on the air, any payment would never have been there. Right. And if you remember, Dan did promise at Christmas time that he had these motorcycles that he was going to sell and pay Artie off, but then now he couldn't pay the garage. They're locked up somewhere. Yeah. But I always think that and again, I don't know that this is Dan, but I think that when somebody borrows money from somebody who's got a lot of money, in their mind, they think, he's not going to miss that. He's got plenty of money.
Well, you hit it right on the head because I'm thinking of someone who recently wanted to borrow money from me and then wrote me a letter and said, this money doesn't mean anything to you, but it would change my life.
Wow.
Right.
And I said, well, then you don't know me very well. I work pretty hard for my money.
They know what means something to you.
And I got plenty of expenses, too. And guess what? The money does mean something to me.
But see, I think that when a guy hears Artie say, oh, man, I lost 10 grand on the U.S. Open this weekend, they think like, well, then Artie doesn't have any money. But the point is, that's Artie's money to do with whatever he wants to do with it.
That's right.
Artie, if he paid you $5 a week, that's just some point in every week where he's actually thinking of you.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, though. Right. I mean, that is a good point.
All right, thank you, Jay.
Love the show, guys.
Okay, thanks.